Welcome back, tribe. It's me again, Mr. Hall, author, artist, founder, master healer, conscious systems architect, literal death survivor, human, and more. If you know, you know. But either way, reality is catching up to define me. I'm here to give some perspective, enhance your perception, and possibly provide some confirmations, okay? Using the different methodologies of spiritual practice, pattern recognition, and overall understanding so that we can collectively gain some space through all of these contexts of human existence, right? So, channeling a lot of energy. What I picked, if you don't know already, as soon as I begin the video, I begin to channel, okay? Check out the other readings below, the channeled sessions, check out the shorts for instant confirmation, and click the link above in the bio to go ahead and check out all of the products and services. I have some good surprises coming up. Anyway, that may be significant as well. Something may have taken you by surprise, caught you off guard, or depending on where you are on your understanding, okay, confirmation. Something gave you a heads up or an alert. Okay, so something may have come at you in a surprise, and something may have been brought to your attention prior to give you a process or a heads up to combat this energy. It seems like it was neutralized fairly quickly, okay? So things that I picked up as well is 369, Nikola Tesla, okay? And if you look into numerology, angel numbers, different ways that numbers can communicate. I'm picking up binary as well. That would be significant. Something about Captain Crunch, and shout out to the individual that followed me. So something about you being able to bridge communication styles and also being able to bridge focus, okay? Realign, recenter, be a focal point. I'm picking up the Taurus energy if you are familiar with symbology, and also cosmic. I'm picking up cosmic ancestry as well. So something about Taurus. So the symbol Taurus, okay? Similar to the tattoo here. And also, so something about a tattoo as well that may be significant. Something that was supposed to leave a permanent mark. I'm picking up mark on your record. I'm picking up calling the police. I'm picking up law enforcement. I'm picking up government forces. I'm picking up globally and on a macro scale. So something that was supposed to deter you ended up propelling you forward because you got a heads up spiritually in your dreams, possibly through some astral travel, through any of the methodologies that you use to communicate with what you hold sacred. As above, so below, we practice omnism and animism here. So we're able to connect and communicate between standard forms of communication. So I'm speaking of standard deviation as well, something about mathematicians, something about science, something about astronomy, astronomers, neurophysicists, physicists. So it's a lot of science energy. So something may be changing in your anatomy, changing within your science, okay? I'm picking this up as you no longer falling for bait, okay? You no longer falling for any type of rage traps, I believe it's called. So, and that's circling back to Gen A, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Z, Millennials, Gen X, Boomers. So you being able to bridge generations together. So this can be physically in the literal sense of human beings and their timelines and their generations, and or curing or finding some type of solution to generational curses, okay? So ancestral curses or ancestral wounds, okay? Being able to uproot these different perspectives and bridge things together. I'm really picking up, and it's been in the energy for a while, this empirical understanding and rationale of society as a whole, and even in silos and groups. And then also, okay, confirmation. And then also, so breaking silos in understanding, breaking silos in communication between different generations, and also allowing the clearing of veil, allowing the clearing of any illusions to not impact people in a negative way, right? Adding perception and perspective, right? Helping people and or I'm picking up soul family, soul tribe, connecting with like minds, okay? Seeing eye to eye with your third eye, right? Real eyes recognize real eyes, or real eyes recognize real lies, okay? So something significant about that. So something about you being rooted in your stance, your perspective, your understanding. There's no confusion, being very clear-minded. I'm also picking up group 7. This has been going on recently in the algorithm. So something about algorithmic intelligence as well, okay? So this convergence between the way that you're able to communicate to so many different types of individuals, people's lifestyles, backgrounds, right? Similarly to omnism, animism, able to see the similarities in all religions, all practices. You see, being able to see the universal language of existence, right? Even in the silence or even in what is not said. And it seems that when something was recently, and this would have been in the recent past, something was possibly thrown at you, okay? This can be literally, this can be energetically, this can be spiritually, right? There may have been something that was meant to agitate you, okay? Poking the bear is what I'm picking up, all right? You may have a bear as a spirit guide, as an animal. Someone's name may be Bear. Okay, this could relate to the LGBTQ community as well. But something bare, okay, even bearing your soul, bearing your emotions, stripping yourself bare of any limitations, right? Any way that you can fit this into context within your existence. Okay. And I'm also picking up a youthful energy, being able to communicate with youthful energies. And this doesn't mean in biological age, but having seeing the world through the eyes of a child, right? Being excited, having optimism. I'm picking up a very sun energy, right? Lilies, flowers. So that may be very significant. Those names, those actual plants, okay? Lily, flowers. This can also be a name of a location, a name of, I'm picking up clothing as well. That might be some confirmation for you. 655 is on the timer, all right? So some type of balance being brought through change. So you're bringing balance through change, spiritually aligned change. Okay, spiritually aligned balance. You're bringing what was out of view into context, right? So something pretty fuzzy, something not clear for a collective and also yourself, right? I'm picking this up. So I'm definitely possibly talking to some of the leaders of change, okay? And if you don't see yourself that way, so the perceptions around the way you see yourself, the language that you use towards yourself is changing. And if you're having any type of issue or there was something that came up that made you look at what was out of focus in that perception of yourself, you've shifted it and you've grounded this spiritually aligned change. And now that you have grounded and aligned yourself to these higher frequencies, dimensions, and let's not say higher or lower, but deeper, you've gone deeper into your understanding of consciousness, of how you relate, how you really feel, and how reality responds to you as it is very much aware of you and yourself, right? So I'm picking up this saying, reality is watching you, right? Reality wants to see how you reality. Let's put it that way. Reality wants to see how you respond and what you do so that reality knows how to best assist you, how to best help you, all right? And you can call this God, you can call this the devil, you can call it any energy that works closely with you that you would consider higher power externally to you, but you're simultaneously realizing in energy, frequency, and vibration terms, you are all that is and will be and more, right? So you're tapping into, okay. Yeah, you're tapping into your beliefs of genius, okay? So feeling that your beliefs are genius, and we're not picking this up in any type of condescending sense. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Okay, so you may have been experiencing a lot of interruptions to your flow, to your expression, to the way that you move. Okay, what I'm picking up, so when I got up, I picked up instantaneously as well as I closed the window, closed the door. You're closing the door to limiting beliefs. You're closing the door to the past. You're closing the door to things that are not going to be serving your highest good. And this can be in a literal sense. This can be in a mental sense, emotional sense, right? Any paradigms where you were limited and unable to flow freely. So I'm picking up similarly to how everyone is welcome to this channel. We just let the energy flow, right? That would be the balance. But allowing yourself to flow in balance to what is good for you, right? You redefining what success means for you. You redefining what love means for you. You redefining the principles and the foundations of your existence on your terms, okay? And this is some type of healthy energy for you, because it seems that this is Mars energy, right? This energize, confront. So you're confronting something and forcing yourself to, in a way, with balance, to really tap in and experiment with this genius energy. You may be an Aquarius, you may have strong Aquarius placements, you may have a Mars in Aquarius placement. These can be external energies to you, but there was some type of energized confrontation that required you to have action. Okay? And something about changing homes, shifting how you identify homes, right? So I'm picking up, hey, a conversation, where are you from? And I'm from Earth, right? Or where are you from, or where's your home? And you not specifically identifying with any ancestry, and or you being the ancestor now, and now redefining what the ancestry of your people, your traditions, your practices, your beliefs will be. Okay, redefining and energizing the genius for you to understand your beliefs and spiritual values. Okay, with the second house card here and the ninth house card here. So an aligned completion. Okay, an aligned completion. So really healing ancestors. I'm picking up much more ancestor energy today versus interdimensional frequencies and energies and vibrations. And we'll get some clarification from the Cosmic Sacred Spirit deck. Okay, spiritual release, excuse me, burp if you know, then you'll get familiar. If you join the tribe, that happens often, right? Sneezes, crack, so even cracking of the fingers I'm picking up. So some type of crepitus possibly is being released. So you're releasing in many different ways through your energy body, right? Any pain that you feel, you releasing pent up or subconscious emotions that may have been interfering with the way you're perceiving your own genius, right? Because everyone has their own genius in their own way, right? Emotional intelligence, literal intellectual intelligence, right? And something literal about confrontation, or you now being able to put what was subconsciously limiting you to the forefront. All right, really being able to do this. Okay, so that is good energy. I'm picking up that you feel lighter, you feel active, you feel energized. So picking up a lot of fire energy. Okay, something about Pata Vita. Okay, so this is okay, Nine of Swords. So there may have been some type of betrayal in the past. Okay, or something that was possibly heartbreaking. And this energy, this could be in this lifetime, this could be in a past life, this could be in an emotional or mental context. I'm picking up mental because we have the Aquarius energy here. All right, so something about air, something may have been in the air, possibly taking a flight or a trip, as I did mention home, so possibly changing homes, and how you identify yourself in relation to home, okay, whatever you define as home. Your body, your flesh, externally to you, right? Is your home the place that you love? Is the home where you have comfort? Is the home a literal physical location? Is the home your earth? Is the home Mother Gaia? Is the home you doing some demolition work on your home? And that can be literally confirmation for you, or doing demolition and reconstruction on your entire energetic body. And I'm picking up that this may be happening interdimensionally, right? As we're picking up on neutrinos, I'm picking up on energy waves, electromagnetic frequencies, right? Frequencies being very significant, you being aware and alert of these different frequencies taking place around you. So your sensitivities are increasing as well. Your psychic gifts may be activating too, okay? But big things on your spiritual values and your beliefs, okay? Possibly having new discoveries mentally, all right? So the confrontation of the discoveries, the confronting of the discoveries of long-range thinking or travel, what you value, right? So really, I'm picking up this planning phase of action. So you're taking action in a planning phase of your duality being no longer an issue, okay? Your complexities, your paradoxes, right? Reconciling within yourself in a whole, complete, and possibly a holistic way, the way, the how, okay? I'm picking up the how in yourself, okay? So I'm picking up the how in yourself. How can you think you can achieve something? How can you feel that you can achieve something? The hows, okay? And not so much on how exactly it's going to happen externally to you, but how in yourself, right? Finding home in yourself. That was pretty channeled energy, so. All right, not so concerned with making logic, but allowing sense to work through you and with you. I'm also picking up something about an Aquarius in a south node. All right, so this can be a very cunning energy, this can be a very tyrannical energy, this can be a very strong and domineering energy. So possibly some ending to a Aquarius type energy that was attempting to be hidden, right? Possibly not appreciating your eccentricity, all right? And this may have been an aspect of yourself that you weren't appreciating, okay? Because we do have the masculine energy. All right, so a lot of masculine energy. This could have been a group, this could have been an enterprise, this could have been a corporation, but some type of Aquarius energy, some type of genius energy in a nefarious aspect. What I'm picking up is Jafar from Aladdin for some reason. That may have some strong significance for you, okay? But going back to this crepitus, releasing anything that was a little bit of dark energy, anything leaving or staining your perception around yourself, okay? So Gemini is also very significant. All right, being able to see both sides of something. All right, so being able to see both sides of how you're going to move forward and progress. So I'll give an example, and this will be for the spiritualists, the leaders, the healers, which you all are if you're a part of the tribe. If all of this language is not making sense to you, go ahead and do some research. Go ahead and click the link above in the bio. I will be available to take sessions. I'm very selective though, so this way you can get a better understanding of all of these different contexts that are being touched upon at once, okay? But circling back, we have the second house here, and what I'm picking up is you being able to reconcile your way of being, your way of life without explaining it, right? You seeing in vision and literal practice how you're going to be able to move forward. And the example that I wanted to give was entrepreneurship, foundership, in whichever field or pathway you see that happening. Because especially in the West, we're seeing things, and globally, right? We're seeing governments make major changes, okay? So Knight of Cups and King of Swords. Right, so this is what I picked up. So a lot of air energy. So there may have been a King of Swords, a Knight of Cups, a Gemini, okay, with this Nine of Swords. So some type of ending to a group, okay, some type of ending to communication, okay, and then we have the Seven of Wands, Lord of Valor in reverse, okay. So not being so concerned in the way that you are perceived, okay. I'm picking up the energy of I'm not in the mood to be perceived today. Okay, you're allowing yourself to have space, to have peace, and you are standing your ground with that and confronting anything within yourself and or externally that is not going to allow you to have the freedoms that you know you deserve, right? So I'm picking up also a rechanneling and a refilling. All right, so something about a refill, possibly refilling a bank account, possibly refilling gas, possibly refilling medication, possibly anywhere that you can find refill applicable to you. This will be your confirmation. And you refilling yourself with your self-worth, with your power, with your authority, with solar plexus, right? With solar power, with this Mars energy here. Something also about solar powered vehicles, also self-driving vehicles. So something about transportation, right? Because we did have this long range thinking or short trip or travel, right? So where do you see yourself in the next 10 years if we're looking at time linearly, right? And also, where do you see yourself now? Even if you're in the same literal location or spot, or things have not externally changed in the conventional sense of making movement forward, how have your views, how have your emotions, how has your growth as a human being, a part of the species, changed and allowed you now to enter this place where you mentally know what you value, right? Right? You physically understand your resources. You making the connections where there may not have been neurons firing back and forth, right? Where you were having thoughts that were not conducive to your personal growth and liberation and exaltation, okay? Allowing yourself to be free. Excuse me again, confirmation. Okay, so something released. You've released something, some type of generational curse, okay? Gender neutrality. I'm also picking up, so something about really separating from this dualistic nature and stepping into a polytheistic perspective, okay? So that may be significant as well, switching religions, switching understandings of yourself and beings and others, okay? I'm also picking up you communicating with other species. This is heavy as well. So we can say animals, species, plant, species, okay? Types of rocks, okay? Sediments, species, okay? And we'll put it in that context for this conversation. So you seem to have triumphed over some type of Nine of Swords, okay? You become this Princess of Echoing Hills with the Princess of Pentacles here in the recent past. So you taking action okay, with a divine feminine energy, okay, with an air energy. So you're taking action over your thoughts, okay, about your thoughts around the material realm, okay, I'm picking up as well. And then this King of Swords, Prince of Chariots of Winds, right? So you're currently in this place of change, but working in unison in a balanced way with the universe, okay? And coming from a healthy balance of beast, man, and more, right? So that animalistic nature within you, taming that tiger and that beast within you with strength. I'm seeing the strength card coming up for some reason, all right? And in the near future, really being able to move forward with these balanced emotions, knowing where you stand with yourself, okay, in relation to external circumstances, in relation to anything outside of you attempting to force some perspective, right? So something externally of you saying this is the right path, right? You understanding your path and you celebrating it, okay? I'm picking up being in this Zen state, okay? So something about a state, okay? Some estate, like a living, a dwelling, okay, a large living or dwelling, something about an estate, something about being in a state of mind, consciousness, being, frequency, all right? These are all terms that may be coming up for you, all right, with the Lord of Waves and Waters. So something about some type of sea trip, okay, I did pick up a boat, so something traveling by plane, air, but something highly significant about allowing your emotions to flow, allowing your communication to flow, allowing thoughts that are coming to you to come and letting them go if they don't fit or match, and using your own discernment to understand what may be projected towards you, okay? And this is where I'll digress to the original pre-channeling that I picked up, where you're connecting generations. So we're seeing that systemically there's a lot of social engineering taking place globally to incite and elicit fear or worry or dread, keeping the vibration low, okay? So sometimes low vibrations are good in balance, okay? No goods or evils, right? As above, so below. But something now as far as spiritual inheritance, spiritual knowing, okay? Understanding with the clairs, okay? So clairsentience, claircognizance, okay? Inner knowing, inner hearing, inner feeling, inner taste, clairgustance, okay? Psychic smell. And circling back again, you may be seeing a lot of synchronicities that you don't have the language yet to describe, as reality is still catching up, and or you are aligning yourself to find that language or those circles or that soul tribe that is going to be able to elucidate or further explain on what it is that you are experiencing, right? Giving you context for the experience, okay? And a big theme that I posted about on another channel, you can check it out in the link, TikTok, I believe. So TikTok may be significant as well, but you'll see that I did have a channeled energy to speak on insanity versus being crazy, or labels or attachments that possibly were lingering and hanging in your peripheral energies, okay? So something about your peripheral vision, I'm picking up shadow energies. You may be seeing different signs of activity as far as paranormal activity, supernatural activity, non-human intelligence, and you're being guided to let you know not to be afraid. The fear is an illusionary luxury that we no longer can afford to have. We're snapping out of it, okay? That projection, that perception, all right? Because what's happening is any energy that was being sent to you in the format of malice, hate, shame, fear, separation, isolation, all of these lower vibrational energies and entities that feed on those energies are being dispelled, okay? You've released them. You're allowing them to flow in and through, and also as they flow through, in and out, all right? So I'm picking up clear digestion, something big about digestion as well. That may be significant if you're having any irritable bowel syndrome, or if you're having any type of digestive issues. This could be a part of a spiritual attack or your own overthinking, manifesting physically within you. So snap out of it. There you go, snap out of it. So that energy's all been cleared, okay? You're able to appreciate your genius. You're able to appreciate your perspective. You're able to have your cake and eat it too. You're able to enjoy these changes and knowing that this is your time, this is your moment. The moment is always now, 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 now. It's up to you and when you want to choose to align yourself to the frequency and the consciousness of allowing, being, existing, and with pleasure, right? So something also significant about possibly taking pleasure, all right? And changing and adapting the ways that you understand pleasure, okay? I'm picking up kinks, taboos. So this is getting into more sexual nature, but we can also look at that as a solar plexus energy. So what you take pleasure in creatively, what energies are you feeding into yourself? What circles are you surrounding yourself with? What language are you allowing yourself to hear, feel, sense, taste, touch? Okay, how many ways are you allowing yourself to be? Okay, in completion, in fullness, in authenticity. So in felicity may be significant. I believe that was a television show years ago. That may be significant, but yeah, you're abandoning any lack of success. The Lord. So we have the Eight of Cups. So you're understanding that abundance is something that you create, something that you allow yourself, right? So for example, I'm picking up the energy of a genies, okay, making a wish. Shout out to the reader that mentioned this earlier. You know who you are. I'm sending that communication, you know. So now, something that I'm picking up with the Eight of Cups, okay, is Lord of abandoned success. So you separating yourself from the idea or the thought that was being projected onto you that you don't deserve success, or success wasn't meant for you, or you missed the boat, or something's too late, something's too early, too much, too soon. You're separating from all of that and doing it, having it, allowing yourself to enjoy success, okay? And really picking the options. As you see, all of these cups, two of these cups are being filled and poured into and almost being overfilled, right? And I'm picking up, for the first time, I'm seeing in this card as well, the heart shape being introduced by the plants, the stems of the plants. So really something stemming from the root, okay? Really building something. You giving yourself flowers, if you look at this hand here as well, that's holding the flowers, okay? And then for a second, this would look almost like a bridge, this little sigil in the bottom right hand corner of the card, or left if right to you, but this little sigil and imagery here, okay? So the letters P, the letters D, okay? I'm also picking up a nebula, something about nebula, okay? Something about I, something about the pi, okay? The mathematical symbolism, okay, of pi. So heavy significance on numbers, science, analytics, okay? And I'm picking up inverse, okay? So graphs, something about graphs as well, okay? So graphing and or mapping, okay? Your human intelligence, frequency, okay? So mapping something, mapping the best option for you to be able to enjoy success, for you to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, okay? For you to be able to fill the correct cups with these two here. So I'm picking up an equal give and take of energy, okay? Yeah, last judgment. So I'm picking up judgment has been called, okay, as I had this at the top of the deck, and then we have the symbolism. So you're calling judgment on something, the spirit of the primal fire. Something's getting shut down, right? And then we also see in this card 3 different energies, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And they do seem to be masculine energies, all right? And it seems that there may have been an individual summoning, okay? So possibly a Knight of Cups that was summoning or bringing in some type of emotional offer to a King of Swords, all right? And switch the genders around as needed. But for the first time, I'm seeing something for the first time in new eyes with new passion, okay? The eyes are only prepared to see what the mind is prepared to perceive, okay? So you may be perceiving things in a new light, and you're being guided to not be alarmed, because this false evidence appearing real, fear, right? You are becoming that fear. You are facing yourself head on. You are facing with this Aries, Mars energy, okay? This perceived genius that felt as though it was out of your reach or your grasp. But again, I circle back and say, so really circling back to where a root cause of an issue began, okay? Remembering to call judgment, okay, in a divine capacity. So someone may have been attempting to call judgment on you, right? Externally, attempting to deflect from their own insecurities or inadequacies that they perceive themselves to have, and instead of appreciating, may have been unintentionally directing energy, okay? This is the way that I'm picking it up. Misinterpreting and misdirecting energy, okay? So this could have been a Capricorn and Aquarius, because Aquarius is here twice. I'm seeing North Node and South Node. You being in your North Node and separating from your South Node. You may have an Aquarius in your South Node. You may have Capricorn and or okay, I'll leave it at that. That's it. So you're possibly also working with the elements of fire and air. Okay, so some type of fire magic, some type of there may be something significant about a fire that's taking place. I'm picking up a blowing up, a bombing, something significant about some explosion. an explosion of energy. That's what I'm picking up. So you're getting the heads up now confirmation. This is not to fear induce, but to be aware, possibly checking a car, checking anything that can leak or catch on fire, or something that can accidentally happen. Just pay, I'm picking up P's and Q's because we did see B and A. This confirmation, no. In the, where is it? In the judgment card. Where did I put you? Okay, so I'm picking up slowing down to really pay attention or give attention to that subconscious peripheral energy. Okay, really being able to see beyond the veil, the perceived veil. But and in reality, the veil has always been thin. Okay, things. So there have always been things that needed your attention that now you're able to give those attentions to. Okay, multiple attentions, laser focused. I'm picking up. But what I was wanting to find was the symbolism of that little okay. I wanted to reference the card to show you this peripheral, this there it is, okay, here within the Eight of Cups. So if we look here, so something about phosphorus as well. This is what I'm pointing at for specifics. Something about phosphorus, okay? So anything that can be flammable, you want to be careful with, okay? Pharmaceuticals, I'm just picking this up. So if you are in any of those environments and working with chemicals, be careful. And preferably these are legal chemicals, not illicit chemicals, but be and aware. No judgment here, not guiding anyone to do that as I'm not a medical professional, but you are and you will do what you will, okay? So balance. So we have Pisces here as well. But either way, circling back, that was a tangent, okay? So you being able to separate yourself from any distractions and being able to maintain focus while having to deal with multiple things. So I'm picking up delegating tasks even within yourself. Okay, in the morning, I'm going to do this. At night, I'm going to do this. In the middle of the day, I'm going to do this. And if this is a practical nature pertaining to a business, enterprise, company, or even with yourself, or having a goal or setting a goal for yourself that you're allowing yourself to meet, you're meeting yourself halfway with your goals. And this is allowing you to bridge this gap that you had, or at least the perceived gap that you had in relation to accomplishing some more stability with your resources, more of understanding what you want to be shared about yourself, right? The way that you're sharing yourself. So something about 9 and 2, 92 may be significant. You may be a millennial, 29, 999, 222. Any other numbers? We had 999, so completion to a 9 of Swords situation as well, and then the 8 of Cups. So a really abundant emotional space you're entering and for being fulfilled within. All right, and thank you, guys, for that beautiful assist. So you possibly may be getting as well some type of unexpected assistance. Okay, this is what I'm picking up. Let's pick up. Okay, so I was guided to use the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. Okay, by Kyle Gray. Kyle, the name Kyle may be significant. The name Gray may be significant. Okay, I'm picking up 50 Shades of Gray. I'm also picking up gray skies, or so your environment may be feeling kind of bleak or gray, but okay. All right, so you've ignited, as I split the deck, I'll just show you, these are very significant. So you have the Fire Guardian here, right? Igniting your passions, all right? You really working with this element of fire, okay? Really moving forward. Okay, and then this High Priestess energy. So you have the vision and the sacred knowledge, possibly holding a sacred key, okay, a tool that is allowing you, even with the energy of Basset here with the Black Cat, 333 as well, 33. So master, I may be speaking to some of the masters now. If you know you're part of any of those secret, not so secret societies, those groups, this is for you too. So you're working with this energy of Basset, okay, and the key is being held over her head. So something about balancing the divine masculine and feminine energies and working with possibly ancient Egyptian ancestors, okay? And really being able to see the patterns, okay? As we turn it this way, we're seeing the shape and symbolism, if we move past Basset, all right, of this downward pointing triangle. So this passive energy, so allowing something to pass, getting out of this stuck energy is going to bring new passion into your community, your group, your belief system, your existence, okay? So really being able to see, having the passion ignited, all right, with the harness of mystic power. So harnessing some type of mystic powers and energies. So I'm picking up Egyptian from the card, but this can be any society, any group, any ancestry, any demographic where the harnessing of power is taking place. And I'm also picking up CERN now. We're getting more into the scientific energy and empirical science. So some type of completion to a hydrator or acceleration. Okay, something's picking up speed because we have she-wolf, unleash the wild within. So something about the next full moon, if we notice, it looks like a full moon here as well. Some type of activation taking place, okay? Some type of sigil magic. You may be also crossing the line. Okay. So some type of boundary crossing taking place, but this feels ethical. This is not feeling as a crossing of boundaries that is not wanted. So pushing the limit, no limits, having no fear, moving forward to trust in this wild part of yourself, okay? As your passion has been ignited, okay? We see this here. So the feminine's passion has been ignited, the beast has been slayed, essentially, okay? And there's now balance to divine masculine energy. So balancing this out, and I'm also seeing the Merkaba, okay? So sacred symbology, okay? Crystals, I'm also picking up. So something about a sacred device or tool, allowing the collective, yourself, macro, micro, to, as we see the bee here, right? But hive mind is also coming up, but something about being able to bask, enjoy, and light, right? Being able to enjoy the cake, being able to eat it too. This is going to be the balance necessary. And if we look, even though the bee is a small insect, right, there is a hive mind, and this goes back into many different sacred spiritual practices, but I'm picking up beehive, Beyonce, different layers, different things. So something about art, artistry, the expression of art, the expression of symbology, all right? But if we look at the beehive, we're seeing how many components are all interconnected in this hive, okay? Which the bee, okay, or the queen, all right, some energy. Okay, I'm also picking up interdimensionally as well. Some type of external energy is crowning you, queening you, all right? Regardless of gender, king, queen, right? Any just a supreme authority balancing out itself through you, expressing all these aspects of yourself and stepping into your new beginning with passion, all right? Heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved, right? Balance. No longer limiting the way that you perceive love, right? And magic guardian, unlock the magic within. So you're unlocking your magic, you're unlocking your passions by you previously standing up to whatever energy was being projected to you. And with you doing that, you've allowed yourself to love and be loved. You are now allowing yourself to unlock your magic genius within. You are allowing yourself to be this cosmic traveler, right? We have traveler here, move in a new direction. Okay, you're moving in a new direction. So this can be literal as far as you, myself, I, us, as human species, and or societally, or civilization, and or completely understanding of consciousness altogether. We're moving into a new direction, okay? And I'm picking up something about the West, okay? The Southeast and the West, okay? Southeast and West may be very significant for you. Okay, so major changes taking place in those areas, wherever that would be in relation to your physical location at the moment, okay? So you might find something if you look down, look over to the left, okay? Look over to wherever the West is for you in that direction. There may be an energy there calling you, or you're being guided to look in that direction. If you already were, this is the timeline separating a bit, okay? If you were already looking in that direction, you're being guided to look in the opposite. Okay, so if you're looking west, look east, northeast, okay, or northwest, all right? So we said, let me go back to it now, because I'm seeing, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, and let me describe it for you. I'm seeing a compass shifting, okay? So electromagnetic, and this relates to the north and south poles, switching polarities. So switching of polarity over the earth is what I'm picking up. So where once something was found, something new will be found is what's coming to mind, okay? Where something once was, it's been replaced and changed, okay? So some shifting of authorities, some shifting of power. It's time for the change. It's time for the change. And if we look at time linearly, but I'm picking up cyclical, okay? I'm seeing a vortex, okay? I'm seeing the imagery of a vortex, okay? A spiraling vortex floating through Earth, similarly to the ways the planets will be circling each other or going through that process of completing a cycle. Okay, so some cycle has been complete. And if you look at the last reading I did down below, I did reach out, or I did mention in the title, the sacrifice is complete. Okay, you've sacrificed enough. You allowing yourself to bask in this light and this joy, have the freedom of pleasure and feeling free, okay, in balance. All right. Also, something significant about the thumb, bear with me, let me go ahead and look into this as well. If you already know, go ahead and comment down below if you are picking up before I mention it. All right, just notate that you picked it up before I mentioned it, but what symbolically is being represented by the thumb. All right, I just want to get the words for context. All right. All right, so something about the feminine energy, clearly, okay? And yeah, so something about you being receptive, okay? And psychologically, so receptive to your will, okay? Inner will, being receptive to self-discipline, being receptive, okay? Yeah, your personal drive. So being receptive to your true self, being receptive to your true self. This is going to be the title of the reading. Being receptive to your true self, okay? And grounding that energy here on earth in a balanced, healthy way, in a whole way, okay? All right, tribe, I feel that this was a lot of information. So something interesting about the Cabal as well and mudras, okay? Okay. All right, so I'm also picking up for you to, okay, so I'm picking up working with tantric practices and also yogic practices, okay? Okay, so some form of seal has been broken, okay? And this may relate to boundaries that have been crossed in a good sense between dimensions, because I'm picking up that CERN accelerator processing. All right, that may be significant, but it relates to you individually, possibly on a on a micro scale. Okay, so someone saw something. Someone saw something. This may be significant for you. You may be afraid to mention this out loud, but what you know will be beneficial to the entire collective. Say it, do it, be it. That's it, okay? But something about you connecting to your psychic powers through mudras, okay? And also holding and grounding yourself, being receptive to your soul, being receptive to your true self, okay? And for now, tribe, we'll go ahead and say that is going to be the reading. Okay. All right, something significant about this. If you see externally to this video, somebody doing some tapping on their forehead, your third eye is awakening, it's vibrating open. All right, that's going to be significant. Whatever's happening in that moment, pay attention to it, because that's going to be a message for you from the other side, and or inside with sides. Just pay attention to this, okay? And then we also mentioned, I believe it was northeast. Okay. So northwest or southeast, depending on where you are on that on that paradigm. Depending on where you are physically, you're either going to want to pay attention to something going on in the northeast, confirmation. All right, so that's it, northeast, confirmation. Okay, and something about your own circle, drawing your own boundaries. All right, I'm not channeling anymore. Stop. Okay, so tribe, appreciate you. I'm glad to see we're growing and glowing. All right, we're going. Okay, oh, no more channeling. No. You may have a lot of messages attempting to be communicated to you. Okay, tribe, that's a given. All right, so I hope everyone enjoys this weekend. I did film this on a Friday, I believe, as well. Okay, the 24th. Okay, something significant about that as well. The readings are timeless, but either way, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay. I don't know if you all can hear this, but I'm getting confirmations to keep going. What do you want me to keep going with? Thinking out loud here, okay, for context. And also picking up, okay, so direction guardian. So choose your path. You're being guided to trade and choose your path on something so you can see new seeds grow. Okay, move beyond ancestral patterns. I'm leaving it at that. Confirmation. Okay. tribe. Now, finally, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay, click the link above in the bio to check out all of my other products and services. Click the link over here on the right. Check out the shorts on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, get to the bio, get to YouTube, check out the shorts for instant confirmation, and then check out the videos down below. Okay, love to see that we're growing and glowing. All right, putting that out there for us. Okay, helping you connect with that energy. Remember to check out for the tapping forehead. Remember to check in those directions. Okay, either northwest or southeast. Okay, and Anak Amun, abracadabra, so mote it be, so it is. As above, so below. I will see you all next time.